Hi guys, welcome back, or welcome. I'm Michaela if you don't know, and I have hooded eyes. I didn't know for the longest time what even hooded eyes were, but once I learned and figured out exactly how to work with them, life just became that much easier, honestly. Hooded eyes are not a bad thing, just want to say that. I feel like last time I did a hooded eye tutorial, a lot of you guys were making it seem like, or felt that I was saying that it was a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. I have them myself, and it just makes doing eyeshadow a little bit more difficult, especially when you don't know what they are or how to work around with them. So in this video today, I'm gonna make your life a little bit easier just with a couple tips and tricks on how to work around hooded eyes. If you've struggled with hooded eyes, if you don't even know what hooded eyes are, this video is definitely for you. I'm gonna explain it all. So yeah, if you wanna see how I put on this makeup look and learn some stuff about hooded eyes, then keep on watching and let's get into it. Why do I actually look like I go to prep school right now? Getting right into it, first thing you're gonna wanna do always with eyeshadow is eye primer. You probably already know this, but if not, I'll explain it to you. Eye primer is really important. It's going to prevent creasing in your eyeshadow. It's gonna make your eyeshadow last a really long time. And most importantly, it's gonna make blending so much easier. So just put some on your eyelid and blend it out. And don't worry if you don't have any right now. You can just use foundation or concealer and make sure to set it with powder. Okay, so eyes are set. Good to go. Now you can move in with eyeshadow, but before we even do that, I want to explain hooded eyes and what exactly they are. I've done hooded eye videos in the past, and this is just gonna be an addition to that, but I noticed a lot of you guys will be like, her eyes aren't even hooded. So I'm going to explain what hooded eyes are. Okay, so when you look at your eyes and your eyes are open and looking straight, as you can see right here, my eyelid is folded on top of itself. You can't see my whole lid. Okay, so as you can see, my eyes relax, completely relaxed, and my eyelid, this part right here, hangs on top of the actual lid. So if I go like that, you can see this is what it looked like if I almost didn't have any hooded eyes. You see how when I lift my brows up really high, you can actually see the whole eyelid, but when I relax, that is a hood. So I don't want to hear that I don't have hooded eyes in this video. First thing you're going to want to do is pick a color you want to use. You can use what I'm using. I'm using the Natasha Denona palette. It bothers me how there's no like number. It's this one. It's the big one. And I'm just going to be using 2 of the shades in it. So you honestly, you could just take any brown eyeshadows. I'm going to start off with this one right here. It is like a medium brown shade. My hood is right here. So I'm gonna go just above the hood, just above. I'm also gonna go into the hood as well because I'm gonna be blending, but I like to go right above the hood. Another thing that I think is really important to do with hooded eyes is to always blend up into your brow bone. So up in this area, you're gonna wanna keep it shaded because just like contouring, you're basically contouring your eyes. You want to bring this part in rather than out because this is where like the little fat pocket sits. So you want to create the illusion that that is actually sitting in instead of out. A lot of times you'll see, we'll get to this later, but you'll see people highlighting this area a lot, and you definitely don't want to do that because that will just bring it forward even more. So I'm just going to focus the shadow on top of that fat pocket, as you can see. So it's right here. Rather than going in, you're going on top of it. Okay, I know this almost goes without saying, but in between every step, you're going to want to blend out the shadow. And how I blend it is, like I said, I take it up onto this part, basically my brow bone, and I just make sure that it's really blended on that. I'm still gonna keep a little bit of lightness, but keep it really, really super close to the brow, and the rest can be shaded. Alright, so I just grabbed this brush right here. This is actually the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH33, and I'm just going to grab for a shade a little bit darker. What you're going to do with this is just start building up the outer corner and start adding even more depth into the hood of your eye. So I'm just going to start by tapping in the shadow and blending it up into my quote-unquote crease. It's not actually my crease though, because if it were my crease, I'd be going in my hood, and my hood is much lower down than my crease is, if that makes sense. So I'm actually kind of making a fake crease that's actually right above my hood. With hooded eyes, I feel like it's really easy for eyes to look closed in and smaller because of that. I like to keep the weight of the shadow, or like the depth of the shadow, focused on the outer corner, and then I almost always, like it's honestly pretty rare for me to bring darkness in this area of my eye, because I feel like when you go like this, it just gives more depth. Honestly, that is what comes down to of what we're trying to create right now. So I'm just gonna keep the dark eyeshadow kind of all in this area, and I'm not gonna really bring it in here unless I'm blending it into that part. Okay, so same demonstration on this side real quick. I'll just speed it up. See the hood? Now we're going to apply some depth. I'm gonna move into the Anastasia Soft Glam palette, and I'm going to start with the shade Rustic right here. So it's a deeper shade than the one I was using. Oh my God, I just dug my nail into that. Now I'm gonna be using the Sigma Shader Crease brush. See how little this is? Anyways, going back in, I'm going to deepen up the outer corner even more. Like I said, we're just bringing more and more depth to the outer corner to create a fake crease. And as I apply the eyeshadow, I'm not sure if you've noticed this before, I'm really bringing my eyebrows up to almost like get rid of that hood, so that when I relax it, because like you can't apply eyeshadow like that, you know what I mean? You have to just stretch it out. Okay, so quickly I'm just going to lightly blend out this shade, and again keeping it pretty concentrated with the blend. And then taking the same brush I was using before, I'm going to go in with an even darker shade. This one's Cypress Umber in the Soft Glam palette. And again, just keeping it even more concentrated than the shade before. I'm gonna blend this out really quickly, and then I'm gonna catch up the other eye off camera and we'll move on. Okay, so one thing that I think is actually really helpful is, like I said earlier, is to have a darker outer corner. I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point, but basically what I'm saying is that I want to lay a lighter shade on the actual lid space. So I'm just taking the shade Tempura. It's just like a light shade. So this is gonna open your eye up even more, and I'm just gonna quickly blend this in just a little bit. So taking the same shade Tempura, now is where I'm gonna show you how to do a brow highlight. So obviously a brow highlight is gonna really lift your eyes and make them look lifted. But it could also really bring down your eyes and make your hooded eyes look even more hooded. If we were to put it like all on this area right here, it will look really, really hooded. But as you can see, there's like a nice gradient going on right here that we don't wanna lose. So same thing on this side. There's like a nice gradient, but we still have a little bit of lightness up here. So this is where I'm gonna put the highlight, right there. And I'm not gonna take it any bit lower than that. So it literally is just at the base of the brow. And then even then, I'm still gonna blend that out and make sure that it doesn't come down any further than it needs to. So it still gives the eye a lift, you just don't wanna bring it down so that it would actually drag the hood even further down. Okay, so now you can really see how this has just opened up my eye. It's so hard for me to not lift my brow when I'm talking about this because I'm so used to going like this. But now you can really see with my eye relaxed. It just looks a lot more open, a lot more awake, and less hooded. Now let's do the bottom lash line, because there's a lot of things that can, again, close up your eyes and make them look more hooded, or open them up and make them look less hooded. Okay, so I got a really tiny brush right here. This one is from Morphe. It doesn't have a number on it though. And I'm gonna take the shade Cypress Umber, which is actually the darkest shade that we are working with. I'm just gonna start on the outer corner of the lower lash line and almost connect it to the darkest shade and just bring it in just a little bit, and I'm gonna stop it right where my pupil meets the line. Does that make sense? So do you see what I mean, where I stopped it right there? Now with a bigger brush, a little bit more fluffy brush, I'm gonna take the lightest shade, so basically the shade that we started with in the crease, and I'm going to start blending that into it. And then with the lighter shade, I'm actually gonna bring that in a little bit further. That way there's not like a dead stop right there and it just kind of fades out into nothing. But I'm not gonna bring that into my tear duct. I'm kind of just gonna stop it right there, if you see what I'm saying. Oh my God, I swear to God, I've never been more focused in a video in my life. Okay, so now that I have the lower lash line pretty much stenciled out, I may blend it out a little bit more. I'm just gonna add an inner corner highlight. So taking the same shade that I used on the lid and on the brow bone, the shade Tempera, I'm just going to highlight up this brow bone, or inner corner, and bring it in just a little bit right there. All right, so I just went ahead and finished up lashes, put on a little bit of blush, highlight, just finished up the whole look so you guys can get the finished picture. But other than that, that's pretty much it. These are the techniques I've been using for a really long time now. Honestly, like when I go back and look at my old pictures, I'm like, so these techniques work for me. I hope they'll work for you too. I hope you could give it a try and let me know if you learned something new. I hope you did. I feel like this entire video I was so bland and I was just like so focused on the instructions and explaining myself. So whatever, this video was about learning and teaching, so hopefully you learned something new. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video if you subscribe, which I hope you will. Bye.